Good afternoon, everybody. This is Brownson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Thursday, November 11th. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to those who have served and for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Obviously, I can't thank you in person. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh. I know I have a tendency to snicker or laugh when I say something awkward or when I'm nervous. It's nothing disrespectful. It's just simply an idiosyncratic tick that I have. Again, I mean no disrespect, but thank you very much to those who have served. And I hope you enjoy this day. You should be getting some discounts everywhere you go today, I think, right? This will be my wide receivers, Spikes and Yikes, and I got a pretty deeper than normal list here. First, obviously, I talked about it's going to show off my new hoodie. I got this at Ross, so I got it at a discount. It's pretty comfortable, fits really well. Nothing too special, but I like how it says Aero 1987. That's the year I was born. So Aeropostale and I have something in common. So I had my COVID test earlier this morning. Super easy. Set up the appointment last night to put in my insurance information last night. Free test for me. Got my appointment at 10:12 a.m. I know it's kind of a random time, but I was trying to get afternoon, but like I was going through the list, it was just bam, 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 like every 3 minutes there was a thing, so it was like it was gonna take me an hour to scroll to the afternoon. So I was like, okay, 10:12 a.m. is fine. Got there 15 minutes early, pulled in with my mask on. Of course, I didn't want, I wanted to be respectful to the people who work in the healthcare profession. She directed me to a parking spot. Another cute younger nurse came out and gave me the nasal swab. So it was like 8 seconds in each nostril. Definitely tickled. She was making me laugh because she was tickling me, and it kind of felt good though. Actually, it was like it's kind of like cleared this section of my face out for the first time in like a week. Rapid test, so I got the results emailed to me half an hour later, and I'm negative, so I had nothing to fear. So now I'm all clear to go to the game on Sunday. I'm hoping that they will accept a screenshot of my test, or if they really want to go deep diving into my phone, I can go show them the email that shows that I tested negative on this day, November 11th, if they really are going to force the issue. But it did say that I had to have a negative test 72 hours before I went to within 72 hours of the event. So I'm hoping that doing it today will satisfy them, because it is technically outside the 72-hour window, because it was 10 a.m. The game starts at 1, so it's technically 75 hours, but it's 3 days. I hope they accept it. And today I had some lofty goals for today. I was going to drive up to Mount St. Helens. I haven't been up there since I was a teenager, so it's been about 20 years. And I remember, that was in the early to mid 2000s. So that was 20 plus years after the eruption, and it was still very desolate, very dead around there. Everything hadn't fully grown back, but I've seen pictures of it lately, and it seems that the wildlife and the habitat has returned to its pre-eruption state. So there's trees and there's grass and there's stuff. I want to see it. I really want to see it, but I woke up today and remembering that it's November in the Pacific Northwest. So not only do I have to deal with the weather, if the weather was permitting, which it's not 100% chance of precipitation today, which up in that area means snow. I'm not too keen on driving in the snow. Don't even like driving my car in the rain. Like, I take it to work and back across the 205 bridge. Those of you who know Portland, the Glenn Jackson Memorial Bridge, whatever it's called, is a freaking nightmare when it's raining. Like, I don't know if it's just me or if it's every car, because I honestly don't have a whole lot of experience driving any other cars across that bridge in the rain. I never really came up to Portland much when I was younger. Never drove up here. And when I did, it was not raining. It was a nice day when I'd come up here. So this car is the first experience I've got driving across that bridge. And suboptimal weather, and I don't like it. I don't know if it's just because I have a geo tracker, so it's like a box. It's just a box on wheels. I don't know if it's good. It has no dynamism, no aerodynamics. But it is just is a nightmare, and I don't like it. And I know it's a 4-wheel drive, so it should be okay in the snow, but it just doesn't do well in the rain. So I can't imagine it's going to do well in the snow. But even if the weather was permitting, everything up there is closed. Like Lava Canyon Trailhead, something I really want to check out. Lava Canyon Suspension Bridge closed. The Ape Cave is closed. The Johnston Ridge Observatory, all the observatories are closed. So there's really not a point to go up there. It's just like there's viewpoints along the highways and stuff that I could go and hang out and chill. But if it's freaking pouring down rain, who wants to be outside in this? Like, I mean, I'm a native to this area, so like rain doesn't bother me really, as long as it's like a light rain. I don't like to be outside though when it's just pissing and it just won't stop. That's not interesting to me. A light rain, a light flurry of rain, fine. That's a different story. But if it's just a non-stop downpour and it's just not stopping, there's no excitement, no interest in being outside and doing anything in that. So maybe another time. I've already got plans with my days off changing. I've already got plans for obviously this weekend I'll be out of town. Already got plans for next weekend, and then the weekend after that is Thanksgiving. So maybe sometime in December I'll get up there at least to one of the viewpoints that are at lower elevation. I actually have not even seen the mountain really, other than from here in Portland when it's clear. You can see it. I've only seen it from like the west side, northwest side, north and west side. I've never seen it from the east side, which is where some of these places that I'm looking at going are. So it'll be interesting to see the mountain from that angle. But anyways, let's get to the football talk. Wide receivers that I'm yiking this week, starting with my boy Stephon Diggs. I feel like I've been picking on him a little bit this year, and he does. I love the guy. I always love the guy. I know he's kind of a prima donna. He wanted out of Minnesota. Everybody's got their personal reason for not wanting to be somewhere. That doesn't mean it's not going to change my feelings. He is always going to have a place in my heart because of what he did. The Minneapolis Miracles. I mean, the Minneapolis Miracle, not plural. That's one singular thing. That catch will live in Vikings fan lore forever, and I'll love him for that forever. Plus, he's just so good. He's just so talented. He's a guy that slipped to us in the draft, and really he just went out there and proved everybody wrong. I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan, but in fantasy this year he's not living up to the expectations. He had such a phenomenal year last year. Coming into this year, he's the number 1 wide receiver. We kind of all thought that was going to continue with Josh Allen. It isn't. His best game so far this year was in Week 6 against the Titans, where he had 9 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. He's really only had 1 game where he's had more over 100, over even 90 yards. And sure, he's still getting a lot of targets, still getting a lot of catches, but the production is not living up to the hype. It's not living up to the name. It's unfortunate. I still have him as probably a low-end wide receiver 1 this week, but top 5, he's sitting at 4 for the week. I don't like that at all. Next, Chris Godwin at 7 against the Washington football team. It sounds very likely that Chris Godwin's not going to play this week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did sign Brashad Perriman to their practice squad, so that's a bad sign. So yeah, in a very good matchup for Godwin. If Godwin were to play, he would be a top 10, and 7 would be fair, but I'm pretty confident in my educated guess that Chris Godwin's not going to play this week. So those of you who have Chris Godwin should be looking at other alternatives, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. DJ Moore at 18 against the Cardinals. Again, I'm a big DJ Moore fan. I was a big fan of DJ Moore coming into the drafts this year. I really thought that I didn't think Darnold was going to be great, as good as he looked the first 3 weeks, but I also didn't think he was going to be as bad as he's looked for the last 5. Now he's hurt. Now it's PJ Walker. don't know what to make of PJ Walker, or it could also be Cam Newton. Cam Newton just signed there less than an hour ago. I don't know how big of a factor Cam Newton's going to be this week, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting in week 11 and for the rest of the season. But yeah, DJ Moore's a flexy, wow, a risky flex play this week. I don't have him. He's definitely not a top 20 wide receiver for me. And little bit of a judgment call here, a little nitpicky. Cole Beasley at 27. This low end flex material is kind of where that's kind of where he belongs. Really, I don't know if I would knock him a lot lower. I just don't see it being a big Cole Beasley week at all this week. I think it's going to be hopefully a big Diggs week. We're waiting for a big Diggs week and a big Emmanuel Sanders week. Hopefully less of a Cole Beasley week, but I do have some shares of Cole Beasley. I do kind of need Cole Beasley to produce, but I'm just again my gut, which is I trust my gut when it comes to fantasy. I try to trust my gut in everything, but sometimes I don't know if it's my gut's actually speaking or if it's my heart or my head. I get confused in real life situations sometimes, but in fantasy, first instinct, I'll stick with it. I don't think Cole Beasley's going to have the best game today. I don't think he's going to put up flex numbers, but I think a lot of us are still going to start him as a flex. Anyways, now for the wide receivers that I'm spiking, let's start with Mike Evans. He's at 6, so you can't get much higher than 6, but I think Mike Evans is going to have a monster week. I think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy for the week. So if you have Mike Evans, congratulations. It's going to be a big Mike Evans week. Next, some guys outside the top 20, let's say top 24, who I'm projecting to have top 20 weeks. Again, I'm going with Jalen Waddle. I haven't really been right on Jalen Waddle. He hasn't had that big monster breakout week yet, but I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It could be this week. It should be this week. Hopefully, it's this week. Tonight, actually, I think he plays the Ravens. Playing the Ravens tonight. I'm not even sure why I'm so high on Jalen Waddle. I don't like Alabama. I don't particularly like his skill set. I think he's just another like Henry Ruggs. Not to bring up that name, but he could potentially be another Tyreek Hill. I just don't. He just needs a better quarterback. Tua ain't it. But yeah, I like Jalen Waddle. For some reason, I'm really high on him in fantasy this year. Waiting for that to pay off. I think he's better than a high-end flex play. I would put him in the top 20. Definitely wide receiver 2 conversation for me this week. I think the targets are going to be there. Hopefully the yardage and hopefully a touchdown is also there. Next, Brandon Ayuk at 34 versus the Rams. I'm not sure which wide receiver is going to draw the matchup against Jalen Ramsey. I feel like it's going to be Ayuk because Ayuk is more of the outside receiver type. Debo is more of a slot guy. Jalen Ramsey is better on the outside than he is in the slot, although he's very talented. He can do both. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Debo because Debo is the biggest threat in that passing game right now. He's top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards currently. But I still think they're both going to have good weeks. I still think they both should be. Debo definitely still in the wide receiver 1 conversation. Brandon Ayuk, 34, seems really low. I think that he's going to be a great play the rest of the season. I've got him in the top 25. And Rashad Bateman at 39, again, is another guy that I'm just waiting. It's kind of like Mount St. Helens. We're all just, we knew that eruption. Mount St. Helens, I guess, isn't the best simile. That's erupted a long time ago. I guess a good comparison is the South Sister. There's a number of mountains here in the Pacific Northwest and the Cascade Range. They're all active volcanoes. Most of them are not due to erupt anytime soon, but the South Sister, one of the 3 sisters, has been rumored that it could erupt. It's due to erupt, and that could, cause a chain reaction of events that could be catastrophic to this region, but we're not going to get into that. South Sister, or let's just any of these active volcanoes around here. We're just waiting for one of them to erupt. That's kind of what Jalen Waddle and Rashad Bateman are for me. I'm just waiting for them to erupt. They're both playing tonight, so hopefully one of them at least can do something productive and make me look like I know what the hell I'm talking about here. But he's at 39 for the week. I have him up in the top 30, low-end flex consideration. I'm actually starting him in a couple of leagues, in a couple of my free leagues that I wouldn't say I don't care about them. I care. That's part of my problem, is that I always care too much about something. I'm always, if I do something, I'm 100% invested in it. I don't, do this half-ass mental investment stuff. It's just not in my nature. People, I'm a little intense sometimes because I'm invested. I care a lot. So I can't say I don't care about the team, but like I'm trying to deviate from my usual way of doing things in fantasy football this year. I'm trying to experiment more. So I am starting Rashad Bateman in a couple of those experimental leagues. I'm hoping that's going to pay off for me this week. And real quickly, I just want to mention another guy that I like it this week. Tyler Johnson is not ranked, so he's outside the top 50. But if Chris Godwin does not play, which is looking very likely, and it sounds like Antonio Brown is also still questionable. No, not sure if he's going to play. And it doesn't sound like Gronk is going to play either. So other than Mike Evans, who is Tom Brady going to throw the ball to against a really bad, terrible Washington defense and one of the best, most prolific passing offenses in recent NFL history, Tyler Johnson is my guess. It's going to be Mike Evans and Tyler Johnson. Maybe on the lesser sort, the tight ends, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. But Mike Evans, huge week. Tyler Johnson also outside the top 50, but I have Tyler Johnson as a low-end flex consideration as well. You have to be in like a deep league or really have some bye week problems or injury problems to start Tyler Johnson, I think. But again, if you're looking for upside and you want to be experimental, Tyler Johnson makes a fantastic flex play for you this week. So that's my video for the week. I'll get to running backs. I don't know if I'm going to do running backs today or if I want to wait till I'm somewhere that's not here to do that. Friday night, possibly in San Diego, or Saturday, Sunday, sometime in San Diego. I'm not sure yet. I don't think I'm going to do it. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do it. No, not pretty sure. I 100% am not going to do the running backs tonight. So unfortunately, there won't be. I won't be able to talk about the players in tonight's game, which is probably fine. Dolphins running backs are all ass anyways, and Ravens kind of a mess too, even though I do like Devontae Freeman a lot this week. I did pick him up, get a lot of shares of him on waivers this week, and I am starting him in some of my more important leagues. Not my money league, don't have him in my money league, but do have some other leagues where long-standing leagues with friends, or some groups, fantasy groups that I'm in. We got together, started a league, so those kind of are more important to me. The more important free leagues, I do have quite a few shares of Devontae Freeman in those leagues tonight, and so I'm hoping that pays off. So I guess I did get to talk about those running backs. There's no reason to play any Dolphins running backs. There's no reason to even own a Dolphins running back. Devontae Freeman, really probably the only running back in Baltimore worth owning. Also, I think he's a pretty decent flex play. I don't know if I'd put him in the top 20, but top 25 for sure. All right, so I'm going to end this now before I get to 20 minutes. Peace, love, and nacho fries.